Welcome back, folks, to WWE Network and Chill, where every single Monday I break down all the original content that I watch on the WWE Network. Today, originally, I was going to talk about the Kevin Owens episode of WWE Unfiltered. I just recently rewatched it. I've seen it before. It's from late 2015. I was on a Kevin Owens binge the other day. But then I noticed they actually quietly uploaded an episode of Table for Three. I couldn't tell you when the last Table for Three was up, maybe a couple months ago. I know they did one with like Booker T and maybe, I don't know, some WCW guys a while ago. I think anyway, in late 2016. It's been a while. And they quietly uploaded one to the network like last Friday, or this past weekend, with the 70s Legends. I think the title was misspelled. They put legend, they put 70s apostrophe S, and I'm pretty sure it's apostrophe 70s S. That's just the journalism in me, the journalist in me. But anyway, it was Stan Hansen, Larry Zbyszko, and Bob Backlund. And a pretty good episode of that, only about, I think 15, 18 minutes, something. I think it was about 18 minutes. Usually they're around like 20, 25, 30, but kind of on the shorter side, but still a good episode. I talked about the Stan Hansen episode, of Legends with JBL just last week, so I thought it'd be fitting to kind of talk about this episode and why you should watch it on the network. So as I had said, these 70s Legends of Stan Hansen, Larry Zbyszko, and Bob Backlund. They start out talking about Hansen breaking the neck of Bruno Sammartino, which is a very popular topic as they talk about it on Legends with JBL on that show with Stan Hansen. And they talk about how it led to Larry Zbyszko's angle with Bruno Sammartino, which kind of led him to superstardom in their respective angle quite a bit after that, when Sammartino came back into the limelight following his injury. They share stories about Andre the Giant. Bob Backlund he asks Larry Zbyszko, why he didn't replace Sammartino as champion once he got injured. And, Larry Zbyszko kind of dishes out on that a little bit. No spoilers, but it's kind of interesting to kind of hear his side of the story in regards to that. And he said it was his dream to be like Sammartino. It would have been cool to be champion. That wasn't his goal, though, he says. He talks about wanting to be the big baby face, which is interesting because obviously he was not in that feud with Bruno Sammartino initially, but he would later on in his career as an analyst in WCW during the whole NWO angle when he kind of got over with the audience and standing up to Eric Bischoff and the NWO. And it was during that time he became known as the Living Legend, so that was pretty cool. Backlund was the exact opposite because he grew up a shy guy. He was obviously the perennial babyface in WWE, and then becoming a heel later on in his career in the 90s really helped him become a better talker and become more comfortable in public speaking and stuff like that. And he reveals, and this is no secret, he's talked about it before in various platforms, that he initially refused to turn heel back in 1984 at the head of his title run in WWE, because he felt that he was a natural babyface as he was at that time. But as he would later find out 10 years later in WWE and going heel, that he was a pretty damn good heel, if not even a better heel than he was a babyface, which is interesting. But Stan Hansen, we get back to him. He talks about living in Japan. They talk about WrestleMania week, Stan Hansen going into the Hall of Fame, and all the crazy things they do. Larry Zbyszko puts over the WWE big time. And Bob Backlund says, timing is everything that happens, everything that happens in their careers. And they kind of close it out. And Larry Zbyszko says, as the episode fades to black, he says, I've got a date, so I got to get going, which is pretty funny. But like I said, not a lot to analyze here, just a kind of brief recap of what was said and what was discussed, but an enjoyable episode, as Table for Three is. I think I talked about the initial episode with Piper, Okerlund, and Mean Gene Okerlund, and Paul Orndorff a couple months back, about a month or so ago. And that was a good episode, too. So check out this one on the network, the 70 Legends episode. 70s Legends, not 70 Legends, with Stan Hansen, Larry Zbyszko, and Bob Backlund. So speaking of which, as I talked about at the start of this show, I'll talk about the Kevin Owens Unfiltered episode with Renee Young right here next week on the show. In the meantime, check out all the original content right here on the channel, going up every single day, from WWE Network and Chill to WrestleRant, #AskGSM, WrestleRant radio excerpts, random video blogs, injection of inspiration, and everything else in between. Full episodes of WrestleRant Radio, WWE EC Radio, interviews, SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, General Manager Mode commentary, live commentary, and stuff of that nature. Subscribe to the channel for that and much, much more. Be sure to like the video, leave a comment, and share the video as well. All that stuff is amazingly appreciated. Have a great week, guys. I'm Graham GSM Matthews, and I'll catch you folks down the road.